An astronaut posted a photo from space that stopped the entire internet, not because of the view behind her, but because of what her arms looked like after 9 months of living where gravity does not exist. Sunita Williams returned to Earth on March 18, 2025, after spending 286 days aboard the International Space Station, a mission that began as a planned 8-day trip and became one of the most publicly followed extended stays in ISS history. The original mission launched on June 5, 2024, aboard Boeing's Starliner spacecraft. Technical issues with the Starliner's propulsion system, specifically helium leaks and thruster failures that raised concerns about the vehicle's reliability for a crewed return, led NASA to make the decision that Williams and fellow astronaut Butch Wilmore would return to Earth aboard SpaceX's Crew Dragon instead, extending their stay by months beyond the original plan. During those 286 days, something was happening to Sunita Williams's body that the internet was not prepared to see when she finally came home. Images of Williams taken shortly before and after her return showed dramatically defined arm musculature, vascularity, and muscle definition that generated immediate viral attention across every major social media platform. The reaction ranged from admiration to genuine curiosity about how a person emerges from nearly 10 months in space, looking physically transformed in that specific way. The answer involves some of the most fascinating and counterintuitive physiology in human biology. In microgravity, the human body undergoes profound and systematic changes across every major physiological system. The most widely discussed effect is bone density loss. Astronauts can lose approximately 1 to 2% of bone mineral density per month in space, primarily in weight-bearing bones. NASA requires rigorous daily exercise protocols to counteract this, with ISS crew members typically spending approximately 2 hours per day on resistance and cardiovascular exercise equipment, specifically engineered for use in microgravity. But the muscular changes visible in Williams's arms tell a more nuanced story. In microgravity, fluid shifts upward in the body. Blood and interstitial fluid redistribute toward the upper torso and head, away from the legs. This is why astronauts frequently describe a feeling of head congestion in space and why their faces appear puffy in early mission photographs. The legs, no longer required to bear body weight, experience accelerated muscle atrophy from disuse. The upper body, however, particularly the arms and shoulders, is used constantly for locomotion, since moving through the station requires pushing, pulling, and gripping at all times rather than walking. The combination of intensive daily resistance exercise, upper body dominant locomotion throughout daily station life, reduced overall body fat from the metabolic demands of adaptation to microgravity, and the fluid redistribution that reduces subcutaneous water retention in the arms creates a physiological profile that can produce unusually visible muscle definition, particularly in returning female astronauts whose baseline body composition responds differently to these combined stressors than male counterparts. Sunita Williams is not just an astronaut. She is one of the most experienced spacewalkers in NASA history. As of her return in March 2025, she has accumulated approximately 62 hours of total spacewalk time across her career, ranking among the most experienced spacewalkers of any astronaut in the ISS program era. Her physical conditioning is the product of decades of professional athletic and astronaut training, combined with the specific physiological adaptations forced by nearly 10 months of living in one of the most physically demanding environments a human body can occupy. The viral moment her images created opened a genuine public conversation about something NASA scientists study intensively: how the human body adapts to spaceflight, and what those adaptations mean for the longer duration missions being planned to the Moon and Mars. A crewed Mars mission would require approximately 7 to 9 months of transit each way, plus surface time, totaling potentially 3 years in space. Understanding exactly how muscles, bones, cardiovascular systems, vision, and immune function change across those timescales is one of the central medical research priorities of the ISS program. Williams's extended unplanned stay actually became scientifically valuable for exactly this reason. Her 286-day mission provided data points in a duration range between the standard 6-month ISS rotations and the record-length missions specifically designed to study long-duration effects. Every blood draw, every bone density scan, every exercise performance metric collected during and after her mission contributes to the medical knowledge base that will eventually determine how astronauts survive a journey to Mars. The internet noticed her arms. The scientists noticed everything else. What Sunita Williams's return actually demonstrated, beyond the viral image, is that the human body is extraordinarily adaptive, that maintaining physical capability in space requires an almost athletic level of daily discipline, and that the physiological research being conducted on the ISS right now is quietly solving the medical problems that stand between humanity and reaching another planet. She came back from space after 286 days, walked off the Crew Dragon recovery vessel under her own power, which is not always guaranteed after extended missions, and within weeks was engaging with the public about her mission with the composed clarity of someone who had just completed something genuinely extraordinary. The flex was real. The science behind it is even more impressive. So here is the question that matters beyond the viral moment. If the human body adapts this dramatically after 286 days in space, and a Mars mission could last 3 years or more, do you think current medical countermeasures are advanced enough to keep astronauts healthy and functional for that entire duration? Or is that still the unsolved problem standing between us and Mars? Follow this page right now if you want the science behind the stories that the internet notices but rarely explains completely, because we do this every single week.